calling passengers on Bright Future Airlines flight WADCL 2024 to please proceed to the boarding gates now. We are about to start the boarding process.
Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and partners in the fight against child labor. I am your flight attendant Sumitra. On behalf of the Bright Future Airlines and our pilot Captain Asutosh, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you aboard flight WDACL 2024 with services to our first destination Bangladesh and continuing to other countries until we reach our final destination Switzerland. We request you to fasten your seat belt and secure your baggages underneath your seat or in the overhead compartments. Thank you for choosing Bright Future Airlines. Enjoy your flight.
Good morning, passengers. This is your captain speaking. First, I'd like to welcome everyone on flight WDACL 2024. Bangladesh will be our first stop. Before cruising to India, proceed to Nepal, continue to Maldives, move further to Bhutan, and on to Sri Lanka before arriving at our final destination, Geneva, Switzerland.
The children and young people from the South Asian countries who were united in their declaration on ending violence against children last February in Thimphu, Bhutan, have come together once again to make their voices known and to speak and act against child labor. This is indeed a special day, as the world celebrates World Day Against Child Labor 2024. Today, we celebrate the great strides you have made towards ending child labor after acting on your commitments. And as your captain, allow me to express my deep admiration for each one of you.
In every country you will be visiting before reaching Geneva, you'll be welcomed by your host or tour guides who will show you the uplifting stories of their country's initiatives against child labor. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. This is your captain speaking. The weather looks good. With the tailwind on our side, we are expecting to land in Bangladesh approximately 15 minutes ahead of schedule.
In Bangladesh, about 7% of children between the ages of 5 and 17 years are working. The country is making some advancements in eliminating child labor, including hiring labor inspectors, rescuing children, and setting up social programs.
We are now preparing to land. Please remain seated with your seatbelt firmly fastened. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate protect, where you will be greeted by your host and tour guide Lukman from Bangladesh.
Hello dear friends, this is Lukman from Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, there are found so many children who are deprived out of schooling at an early age and working in hotel, restaurant, garage, and many other places. We know the reasons of child labor in Bangladesh. So there are so many reasons behind it. One of them is poverty. Due to poverty, poor parents are forced to employ their children at an early age. Also, many children as well as their guardians are not aware of their rights, which also influences child labor. Lacking of implementation of law is also responsible for this. But along with government, with the support of World Vision, with the members of Child Club and Youth Club, are working against child labor. Various times we are conducting many seminars, many courtyard meetings, also making people as well as the children aware of their rights. And also we have a good communication with local government, community leaders, and other activists. I would like to say everyone that it is high time to raise our voices, to be united, and to work for our children. So please come forward, say no against child labor, and make a child-friendly world. Our time, our child, and our future.
Welcome back, dear passengers. How was your first stop? We are now preparing to fly to our next destination, India. For now, please fasten your seatbelt and refrain from standing while the fastener seatbelt sign is on.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. Hello passengers, this is your captain speaking. Welcome back aboard flight WDACL 2024. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 33,000 feet and we are expecting to arrive in India on time.
It's remarkable to note that India has been making advancements in its fight against child labor. About 4.3% children aged 5 to 17 years are engaged in child labor. But groups have rescued hundreds of children from human trafficking and removed thousands more from worst forms of child labor. Passengers, I have a question for you. What is the capital of India? That's right, it's New Delhi. I hope your stay in India will be enlightening and enjoyable.
We are now preparing to land. Please remain seated with your seatbelt firmly fastened. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate Courage, where you will be greeted by your host and tour guides Supriya and Divya.
Hi everyone, this is your tour guide Supriya. Welcome to India. We have a special project on child labor. Let's watch this video clip. Thank you.
Welcome back on board flight WDACL 2024. This is your captain speaking. We are now preparing to fly to our third stop, Nepal.
Nepal is among the countries that has been making moderate advancements in its fight against child labor. An estimated 19% of children aged 5 to 17 years are engaged in economic activities of child labor. So far, thousands of children have received support and assistance from the government and civic groups. I have another trivia for you. The world's highest peak is located in Nepal. What's the name of that peak? That's right, it's Mount Everest. Look outside your window and see the grandeur of Mount Everest. Enjoy your stay in Nepal.
Passengers, we are now preparing to land. Please ensure all your electronic devices, including laptops, computers, are turned off. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate Kindness, where you will be greeted by your host and tour guides Raju and Rajnandani.
Hello and Namaste. This is your tour guide Raju Luhar.
Hello and Namaste. This is your tour guide Raj Nandani. Welcome to our country, Nepal. Hello, this is your first day of your tour. Now we are outside of brick factory. According to the report provided by UNICEF, around 17,000 children working at child labor in brick factory. Now let's go to checkout. As we can see that we are inside a brick factory, and according to the surrounding we are observing, we can imagine the impact that are faced by the children working in this type of surrounding. Not just their physical health but also their mental health is affected. As many of the children are forced by their parents to be a child worker, their relationship with their parents is also affected.
Catalyst named project is catalyzing civil society to accelerate progress against child labor, which aims to eliminate child labor and implement SDG-related policies at local and national level. We started with capacity building, a civil society organization at local level on area-based approach. On the basis of organizational capacity assessment, policy advocacy for the elimination of child labor, sensitization and orientation to elected local governmental leaders, government officials including trade union members on child labor, and declare child labor-free municipalities in 30 municipalities of Bagmati, Lumbini and Sudur Paschim province. Advocacy with federal government and parliament for the amendment of Child Labor Act 2000 and contribute directly to the formation and mobilization of anti-child labor mechanisms, alliance structure and adaptation of anti-child labor policies and programs at local, provincial and federal level. We envision a future where all children in our country have access to free education and healthcare, where their voices are respected alongside adults.
We are confident that this dream will become a reality.
And we are sure that this dream of ours will surely come true.
Now it's time to get on your next destination.
See you back soon.
Welcome back, passengers. How was your stay in Nepal? We are now preparing to fly to our next destination, Maldives. Please fasten your seatbelt and keep it on while the fastener seatbelt sign is on. For your enjoyment during our flight today, we have placed a complimentary copies of our in-flight magazine, The Comet, and the ACT magazine, where you can see the Thimphu Children and Youth Declaration on Ending Violence Against Children.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. This is your captain speaking. Welcome back on board flight WDACL 2024. The weather in Maldives is clear and sunny, with a high of 28 degrees Celsius for this late morning. If the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the island as we descend. May you have an enjoyable stay in Maldives, which is home to thousands of corals.
We are now preparing to land. Please remain seated with your seatbelt firmly fastened. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate respect, where you will be greeted by your host and tour guides, Sean and Miska.
Hi,
This is your tour guide,
Sean,
Miska.
and welcome to the Maldives.
In 2020, the Maldivian government passed a legislation known as the Child Rights Protection Act, which made it illegal for children under the age of 16 to engage in child labor and prohibits exploitation of children among the industries of Maldives. As a result of this, child labor in the Maldives was nearly non-existent, with a few number of cases yearly. In 2023, there were around 5 to 7 child labor cases. Despite the relatively low number of cases, we are committed to raising awareness of child labor and implementing initiatives that ultimately helps eradicate child labor in the near future.
During our numerous sessions on the Child Rights Protection Act, it is ensured that the teachers, parents, children and the public are ensured of the safe and legal ways children are allowed to work in the Maldives, as well as the areas of work children are prohibited from working in. Along with increasing awareness through information sessions, the government of Maldives has intensified its efforts in conducting investigations and inspections related to child labor throughout the many islands of the country. Most importantly, as youth leaders of the Maldives, we have been very passionate advocates for the rights of the children in this country, especially regarding child labor issues in this country. We have been working very hard to increase awareness in our schools not only about child labor issues occurring in the country, but throughout South Asia. By uniting, we the youth can ensure that the child rights issues of the country are addressed and the children are safe and protected.
Our dream for kids in the Maldives, it's simple. We want them to grow up safe and happy with all the opportunities they deserve. That means a quality education, a nurturing environment, and a place that they can chase their dreams without being held back down by exploitation or unfairness. Now it's time to get back on to your next destination.
See you back soon.
Welcome back on board flight WDACL 2024. This is your captain speaking. We are now preparing to fly to our 5th stop, Bhutan. Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
Bhutan, where 2% of children aged 5 to 17 years are working, is making moderate advancements in efforts to fight child labor, particularly in area of human trafficking. Did you know that over 70% of Bhutan is covered in forest? Look outside your window and see the lush forest of Bhutan. I hope you will enjoy your stay in Bhutan.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now preparing to land. Please ensure that your seatbelts are fastened until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate Compassion, where you will be greeted by your host and tour guides, Dichen and Siring.
Hello everyone, this is your tour guide, Dichen
and Sring Penjor, and welcome to Bhutan. In the Kingdom of Bhutan, childhood should be a time of innocence and joy. For too many children, it's a struggle for survival. The issue of child labor persists, impacting the lives of our youngest citizens in profound ways. From agricultural fields to construction sites, children are often forced to forego their childhood for economic survival.
From dawn till dusk, young hands work in fields and factories, their laughter drowned by the weight of responsibility. Children in Bhutan are profoundly affected by child labor, facing numerous physical, psychological, and social consequences. Many are deprived of their right to education, forming a cycle of poverty and limiting their future opportunities. They often endure hazardous working conditions, risking their health and safety.
Child labor also deprives them of their childhood, denying them the chance to play, learn, and grow in a nurturing environment. Additionally, it undermines their overall well-being and development, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and abuse.
But between these shadows, a beacon of hope shines bright. The Child Labor Task Force Action Plan. Our mission? To banish the darkness of child labor by creating awareness, providing education opportunities, and offering support to vulnerable families. Through grassroots awareness campaigns, vocational training, and strategic partnerships with government agencies and NGOs, we are sowing the seeds of change.
Some of the initiatives implemented with the help of these action plans are: Number 1. Development of the Child Labor Task Force Action Plan, involving civil society, development partners, and private sector representatives. Number 2. Creation of a handbook outlining standard operating procedures to address child labor issues, developed in consultation with relevant stakeholders. Number 3. Educational campaigns, conducting workshops and seminars to raise awareness about the detrimental effects of child labor.
There has also been establishment of central schools by the Ministry of Education to promote universal primary enrollment and ensure access to quality education, complemented by boarding facilities, free clothing, and stationery. Number 5, there's also provision of scholarships by the Kidu Foundation and civil society organizations to support children from lower income families in accessing education. This helps to support families living in poverty to address underlying issues that push children into labor. Free technical and vocational training has also been offered through multiple institutions across Bhutan to ensure gainful employment for children who drop out of school.
Partners are Ministry of Labor and Human Resources, Ministry of Education, UNICEF, the Foundation, civil society organizations, and private institutions.
Our Our dream for children in Bhutan is to create a safe and nurturing environment where every child has the opportunity to grow, learn, and thrive without the burden of child labor. I envision a future where children have access to quality education, healthcare, and support systems that protect their rights and well-being, allowing them to reach their full potential.
So, fellow dreamers and advocates, let us stand as guardians of childhood, defenders of dignity, and architects of change. Whether you lend your voice, your time, or your resources, your contribution matters.
With each step forward, let's pave the way for a brighter future where the echoes of laughter drown out the remains of exploitation, because every child deserves to bask in the light of hope. Thank you for joining us today, and now it's time for your next destination. See you back soon!
Welcome back on board flight WDACL 2024. This is your captain speaking. We are now preparing to fly to our 6th stop, Sri Lanka, before going to our final destination, Geneva. Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
In Sri Lanka, nearly 1% or 28,515 children are working. They are vulnerable to commercial sexual exploitation. As measures against child labor, the government has aligned its laws affecting children with international standards and worked with international agencies to support children's welfare. Sri Lanka is a country of great cultural diversity. I hope you will enjoy your stay in this beautiful country.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now preparing to land. Please remain seated until the seatbelt sign has been turned off and we have reached the gate. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate integrity, where you will be greeted by your host and tour guides, Mithama and Rana.
Hi, this is your tour guide. I am Mitha Prabhashana. Welcome to Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, although child labor is not common, in very rural remote areas, this is still reality. Many children work long hours in harsh conditions, missing out on their schools and chance to play and grow. They face physical and emotional abuse, poor health, and are often trapped in cycle of poverty. Every child deserves a childhood. Let's work together and end child labor in Sri Lanka and give every child a chance to dream, learn, and thrive.
Our project, Hope for Every Child, is dedicated to eradicating child labor in Sri Lanka. We aim to ensure that every child has access to education, safety, and nurturing environment free from the burden of labor. We have implemented several activities, educational programs to reintegrate child labor into school, vocational training for elder children to provide alternative skills and livelihood, community awareness campaign to educate families and community about the harms of child labor, advocacy efforts of strengthen and for child products law. We collaborate with government bodies, local NGOs, international organizations, and community leaders to amplify our impact and ensure sustainability. Throughout our combined efforts, we have seen a significant reduction in child labor cases in targeted areas. Children who were once workers are now students, dreaming of a bright future. Join with us in our mission to end child labor together. We can give every child in Sri Lanka the chance to live happy, healthy, and fulfilling life.
Our dream for children in Sri Lanka is simple but powerful.
We dream of a future where every child has a freedom to learn, play, and grow without any burden of labor.
A future where every child can dream big and achieve their full potential.
Let's make this dream a reality together. Let's rise up voices of children in Sri Lanka. So it's time to get on your next destination. See you back soon. Bye bye.
Welcome back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and partner in the fight against child labor. How was your stop in Sri Lanka? I hope it was an enjoyable experience for you. Now we are preparing to fly to our final destination, Switzerland. So please remain seated and buckled up.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff. Hello passengers, this is your captain speaking. welcome back on board flight WDACL 2024 inbound to Geneva, Switzerland. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 35,000 feet. The weather outside looks fine today. We are expecting a smooth and on-time arrival in Geneva.
Geneva is where you'll get the best opportunity to meet Dr. Rinchen Chopel, member of the United Nations Committee on Rights of the Child. He is also the Director General of the South Asia Initiative to End Violence Against Children. He is a staunch advocate of child rights and was instrumental in the Thimphu Children and Youth Declaration on Ending Violence Against Children. We hope you enjoy your flight.
We are now preparing to land in Switzerland, so please remain seated with your seat belt firmly fastened. Upon arrival, kindly exit at the gate lobe, where you will be greeted by Dr. Rinchen Chopel.
We have just landed in Geneva International Airport. Bright Future Airlines welcomes you to Geneva. For your safety, please remain seated and refrain from removing any hand-carry items from the overhead bins until the aircraft has come to a full stop and the cabin door has been opened for you to deplane. On behalf of Bright Airlines flight deck and cabin crew, I'd like to thank you for flying with us. I'm your pilot, Captain Ashutosh, and it was a pleasure to have you on board WDACL 2024. We hope to see you again soon. Have a great stay in Geneva.
Hello, my dear young friends. I hope my message comes at a time when all of you are enjoying your health and happiness. I am currently in Geneva, attending the UNCRC Committee's 96th session, which is being held here. And I'm also just now in the hall of the committee, where we actually conduct our dialogue with the state parties. As you can see, the chairs which are facing up are the ones where the NGOs, stakeholders and others sit during the dialogue. The two rows in the center is where the delegation members sit. The rows on the outside are where the CRC committee members sit. And then, of course, the head table is where the secretariat, the chair, the head of delegation from the state parties sit. And of course, through the window you can see the Geneva Lake. We are located just on the lake side. And the building you see through the window is the Palais Wilson. This is actually the nerve center of the UN human rights work. Also, the CRC committee is housed in this complex. Now, the CRC committee is composed of 18 experts elected by the UN General Assembly for a period of 4 years. And our primary responsibility is to monitor the implementation and compliance of the state parties to the Convention on the Rights of the Child. And of course, this is an exercise that can be very enjoyable, at the same time quite intense. This session, which is the 96th session, we had 9 countries, and we had also Bhutan who presented their report. Now, I want to underline that the regional consultation in Bhutan in February and this year, and the outcome document, particularly the Thimphu Children and Youth Declaration, is one of the most important achievements or outcomes in recent times, and I'm hopeful that all of us together will put life into this declaration, get this on the road and implement it in letter and spirit, so that we can make a difference in the lives of children and young people, not just in South Asia but all over the world. And I thank all of you who have been party to this, and thank all of you who will be party to this. And I also want to take this opportunity to hope that at some point in the near future, children of South Asia will be able to also come in person to Geneva and be able to hold a dialogue with the UNCRC committee and impress upon them the wonderful work that we do in South Asia. I look forward to meeting you all in the near future. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and have a happy year in our efforts to create a safer world for all of us.